Welcome, CAT candidates. Now that you're registered for and scheduled your test, this is what you need to know for the test day. Check your latest admit card. Familiarize yourself with the test center location and travel arrangement. Ensure that you carry all the documents you need, have good rest, and allow sufficient travel time. The test center maps and directions would be available on the CAT website, which is www.catiim.in, at least 1 month before the start of the testing window. Documents you need to bring on the test day are CAT admit card, original and valid photo identification. If you are a scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, that is SC/ST candidate, you will need to bring along your SC/ST certificate. If you are differently abled, that is DA candidate, requiring support during your test, you will need to bring along your authorization of support requirements from Prometric and a photo identification of your scribe if you need one, as mentioned here. Acceptable forms of photo identification include driver's license, passport, PAN card, voter's ID, college ID, supplemented with an ATM, debit or credit card with your name, employee identification card, or a notarized affidavit in English with photo, signature, date of birth, and residential address. If in doubt, bring along a notarized affidavit. Photocopies of original and expired identification will not be acceptable. You would not be allowed to test if you're not carrying your admit card or valid photo identification. You should arrive at your test site at least 1.5 hours before your scheduled appointment. This will allow time for security checks, identity verification, and check-in. Once you arrive at the test center, please stand in the line while a security guard checks your admit card and directs you to a CAT volunteer. Note that no backpacks or any large items will be allowed in, so do not bring these to the test center. The volunteer will highlight your site code, test date, time, testing ID, and confirmation number on your admit card. He or she will then direct you to the next area. Follow the Prometric sign if in doubt. Another security guard will check your admit card and photo identification. He will then ask you to put all your belongings, including mobile phone and watch, into a bag and ask you to turn your pockets out. You will be allowed to keep your wallet in your possession, but that must remain in your pocket. Note that there will be security cameras during your test. Only your admit card, photo identification, SC/ST certificate if applicable, and DA scribe document if applicable will be allowed to be brought in beyond this point. You will also be frisked before being allowed in. Next, a test center administrator or TCA will check your admit card against the roster and direct you to join the queue outside the check-in room. During all these pre-check-in procedure, please be patient as it could take some time. You may wish to note that no washroom break will be allowed until your check-in procedure is complete. Once it's your turn to be checked in, you will be escorted to the check-in counter. Here, the TCA will again check your admit card and photo identification and proceed with your check-in, which includes your image and fingerprint capture. This is a security feature which will allow the IIMs to verify your identity should they call you up for a follow-up interview after your results are announced. You will then be escorted to your designated lab indicated by the site code on your admit card. Your admit card will be checked by the lab TCA, who will then escort you to your assigned workstation and sign you in. Your image will appear on the computer screen once you have signed in. You may have to wait in your seat for some time for all candidates to be signed in. During this time, if you need to visit the washroom, please inform the TCA. Your admit card and photo identification will be checked when you are escorted back to your workstation, so please carry that with you at all times. Note that no further washroom breaks will be allowed 30 minutes prior to the test time or during the test. The lab door will close 30 minutes before the test time. 2 pencils, an eraser, and scratch paper will be distributed to each candidate. Listen to the TCA's instruction to begin the test. During the test, you may use a scratch paper to do your calculations. Each workstation will be blocked on 3 sides: front, left, and right. Do not look around at other candidates, as there will be surveillance cameras that record both audio and video. Any suspicious or disruptive behavior could lead to your test being invalidated by the IIMs. For any issues during the test, raise your hand to notify a TCA. Our technician will be on standby at every site. In case if there's any major disruption, rest assured, if you're a registered candidate, you will get to test within the testing window. Should you finish your test before the allocated time is up, do take the opportunity to review your answers and wait until the test duration is up. You will not be allowed to leave the room until the allocated test time is up. Once the test is over, an announcement will be made. All scratch paper will be collected before you will be allowed to leave the room. You may then collect your personal belongings and leave the test center. I wish you all the very best for your test.